rate is locked in, because that's a very advantageous rate. The other thing we wanted to make sure is that it would be possible to pay down principal at any time. There wouldn't be any constraints on when the church could actually pay down the principal of the loan. And Hoyne also was the most generous about that. Principal payments allowed any time and no rate adjustments for the first few years, so that Eden would be able to keep the 3% rate as long as possible. So that's basically, I mean, there were a lot of discussions, but that's basically what we found out.
Great. And so thanks. I'm gonna mute myself for a moment here. So thanks to Larry for initial inquiries and Marie for these deeper conversations with a number of lenders. And I mean, basically we're going deep into the research on the lending question, which would be the best institution, not only because of those rates, but also frankly on every other level in terms of the burdens of the loan package and application process. If we decide that a loan is the thing we need to do, we will certainly start out with the idea of Hoyne being at the top of the pack, even though that rate was only locked in to the end of September. And then at the same time, we were researching with realtors. I think I worked with 6 or 7 realtors, got their advice and counsel. What's the range that that lot is worth? 100 to 200,000 is their informed guesstimate from that range. But here's the thing. All of them said it's sellable, things are hot in Jefferson Park, and it's not crazy to try to sell it in the fall or the winter if you get to the point where that feels like the right thing, because it takes developers time to get their permits and everything in order if they're going to try to build in spring. So we vetted, got a little culturally comfortable with the idea of one of these lenders if we need. We got into our DNA. If we need to sell that lot, we can. And that's become part of the mix. Now, as the clock ticked, of course, in August and September, and negotiations with roofers and all, at some moment it became clear that we weren't going to be able to press toward and do the roof work in the fall. And so that allowed us to take a little breath, to feel assured that these are all 3 parts of the puzzle, right? And to just plod on with our other fundraising strategies. So you've seen this wheel a number of times, this variety of strategies from August to March with a mix of events and products and these 2 ideas. Aaron, if you could walk us through the income so far in brief, and I'll just have a couple things to add on the next slide.
Sure. So when we started the campaign, we started with the $19,593, and then since then have had $43,937 in cushions. So those are from families. We received one from a fellow church, etc. We received our insurance payment on October 18th, which was for $30,000. And then the proceeds from the spaghetti sauce sale also went to the Raising the Roof campaign. So to date, we've had $95,600, and then we paid $20,000 so far to Berghaus for our deposit. We have $75,000 available now.
And then just to clarify, $16,500 remains of our debt to Berghaus with the generous installment payment installments that they made planned for us. So we are chipping along. If you want to think about the breakdown so far, I wanted to call out a couple other things. The only internal money that we've used, right, because we don't have any margin really, right, is the $19,000 already raised in the last couple of years before June, a transfer from the Forget Me Lot line, which is the tiny fund we have for maintaining the organ and piano, right? So we got $2,500 from Forget Me Not, thank you, Joan. And then if you think about the breakdown of individual gifts that have come since June 30th, 45 of those gifts have been from friends of the church, including about a dozen that were given in memory of Don Hoppy and about 4 that I think 4 or 5 that were given in honor of my birthday because I'm shameless in asking for money on Facebook. And then 19 of our member households have given so far, including 5 or 6 who are members, but who aren't physically able often to come or come to Zoom. And so might not be folks that you know. And then we've started a trend I want to happily continue and amplify. One of the fundraising pieces that I'm owning is asking all of my friends' churches for money. And so we got 1,500 from our friends in Mount Prospect. I think my database of people to ask is somewhere between 25 and 30 churches. A few of those being churches who've sold their building and have massive mission funds available because they're still worshiping in some other way, venue, who want to help people like us. And so it's my design to ask for ranges of $1,000 to $50,000 from those top leads on that. Aaron's going to talk a little bit about the products we've made, starting with the 2-page insert that went out in a special mailing in November.
So this went to all the our ECHO mailing list. This is what we considered our like year-end appeal. It went in an envelope on its own to all of our membership, and then those friends who have asked to be part of the ECHO mailing list. We based it on Larry's beautiful logo that he designed, includes some photos, and then kind of an idea of where we are financially. The back had the fundraising strategies. Jackie, can you go to the back? The fundraising strategies that we shared, and then also was our first time putting out the website address for our new campaign dedicated website. And we also recently ordered, well, they haven't come yet, called a book slip, which is a new term for all of us. It's a double-sided, the number 10 regular standard business envelope. So it can be sent in a mailing or on its own with just some information. This is more of an outward facing piece. So it's not just for people who know about Eden and what we do. It kind of gives an overview of what we do, our values, how we share our space with the community and beyond. And again, also a link to the website and kind of an idea, some photos of what we're trying to accomplish. So we had 1,000 of these printed, thinking to send them to local businesses, and some friends asking them to hand them out at their churches and things like that. So we have this piece on hand to give at the ready when the opportunity arises.
So we are going to put one of those in the next issue of the ECHO, right? So people see it, get a feel for it. If people have a desire to get some more, this is one of the places where we really need you, right? Ideas of friends in your life that you'd feel comfortable giving this tasteful piece to, right? Ideas of where we want to set them in the neighborhood, although it's COVID, so there's not a lot of foot traffic, but thinking about how to use these wisely. And then the database of individuals to mail and appeal to who are not on our existing list, but friends of Jackie's, friends of Linda's, friends of Marie's, friends of Carla's, who might want to get this, right? In a letter that's not kind of to the in-home crowd. We're driving hard to do that in the next 10 days. So this week is the week to think with us about how to use this buck slip well and strategically. And we can actually, Aaron, let's send out the email file with this in a way that gives people a more enlarged sense this week.
Okay.
So you can see that. Aaron did also mention the new dedicated website. And I would say that that's at Eden Roof in Oregon. Of course, there's a PayPal button there too. The vibe we want for this is, we've been here a long time. We got some special history. We're still alive and thriving, and saving our sanctuary is about more than a roof, right? And so you can see that if you've checked the website out yet. This week, we already got our first gift from that website, because someone who's 59 or 60 was confirmed here, lives in California, was feeling nostalgic about the good old days in Jefferson Park and Googled us and found out what we're doing and wrote me a beautiful 2-page letter and sent a check for the campaign. And so we're really looking to amplify and use this website. One piece on the website and the products we've developed so far that I feel is missing is Tanya's good idea. Is Tanya still here? Tanya? One of Tanya's good ideas. The importance of being able to show visually our progress, right? In a way that's different than just the list of numbers. And so either for a new banner or for the next Echo or both, converting some version of the logo or riffing on it in a way to show this progress, because, you know, we could think of ourselves as being more than a third of the way done. We don't know all of what the expenses will be once they get up there, working on the decking and stuff. But, you know, I'd be remiss to say this. You might have caught this. I don't know if I wrote this down somewhere yet. The lead vendor, which the council will vote on at its meeting this next Sunday, is one of the first ones we were talking to, nationally renowned company, really the company that made us feel in our spirits, this is the right thing to do and we can't wait, has taken $27,000 off of the initial bid. Our trustees have been in negotiation with them and thinking about where are the right places to trim without sacrificing quality. And so that's why you've begun to see 250,000 instead of 275 as our project thing. And speaking of, Larry, would you speak for a moment about the banner and the book? Just real briefly, kind of what we were trying to evoke with it. And what are we looking at? Where is that?
Yes, the banner I got up on the side of the church yesterday. It's on the Laverne Street side, or LeClaire, excuse me, LeClaire. And I'm actually, the picture that you're seeing right now, it looks even more bold and colorful than the picture than this picture depicts. But the photographs turned out amazingly clear. The graphics turned out really well. Anyway, it's a 4-foot by 8-foot banner, so you can actually see it. It's not, you know, it's not. You can't read the details, but you can actually see it from Lawrence Avenue, where LeClaire intersects. So anyway. I'm very happy with the banner. The book, also, I wanted to send out a kudos to Ross Printing. I was amazed at how reasonable the price was on that banner. Well, I believe it was 120, wasn't it, Jackie?
Yeah, something like that. Banner.
Very reasonable. This is all 4-color printing on an all-weather material. The book, Light in the Windows, I just sent this little bugger out earlier last week, I should say, to Ross Printing, and he is getting he's going to print out 200, a quantity of 200 more of these. Pretty much the way the original one was printed. So this is like the first reprint. We updated the, you know, a few things inside because now Pastor Jackie is our senior pastor now, and Steve is pastor emeritus. So little changes like that were made and a couple little minor updates. But anyway, the new book, Jackie, correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to try sell these for $15, correct?
Yep. So we did our first printing of 100 in 2016, sold out in a few months. And we're looking to widen the constituency, including that batch of people who were confirmed here in recent decades who aren't on our mailing list. We've been doing some research to find them, as well as the broader art community, stained glass community, the designer's family. I forget, it's like 26, 28 pages. And Reverend McGuire wrote the text. Larry designed the layout and the photos. And it's about a little profile of every single window and what it means, and a little bit about the founders of the church. So it's been a really heartwarming product for people. And we're hoping, we're hoping to sell 200 because it'll cost us $1,600 to print them. It felt like the right idea given the vibe that we're trying to set with the campaign and connecting to people who care about our legacy and our space. But if your heart is tugged to think about an underwriting gift for the cost of doing business for a campaign, this would be something that would be a reasonable thing to consider. I'm just going back to the slides now. Larry, anything in addition about the book?
Not offhand. There's a slip that goes with the book that we're updating, and I think I'm going to pitch it to some of my friends and relatives and people that are involved in the Edgebrook Historical Society, which I'm on the board of, so that they can get some ideas. We may get some extra orders there and possibly a donation or two.
I think our printing cost was $7.50 or $8 per book, and we're selling for
it was
15.
I think for a quantity of 200, it was $7.50 a book.
Okay, so we're going to move on here. The last little task going on in the background before we turn to coming up. Linda, Aaron, could you say a word about the transition to our acknowledgement process?
Sure. So previously, Daryl Dahmer sent out all of the thank you cards for the note donations or the roof donations. I designed a little sticker that we are putting inside this hand sketched card. Can you see it? So then we put a little sticker in here. Linda's sending them out and thank people that way. And we have a spreadsheet to make sure that it's mentioned in the echo. And then we keep an updated list every week. I send the names to Linda and she sends out the thank you cards.
Would you do me a favor and hold the sticker, what it looks like? Because I've done it wrong and I have to do it right. So
I don't have any stickers.
I don't know if I got any stickers or not, because I was putting the
those tiny things are stickers.
The what things?
The text, the words, it's printed on a sticker paper. So you just peel the back off and stick it on.
I'll look.
We'll support that later today. So thank you for taking that on. And so instead of just a letter on stationery, it's a nice little card. It's got a thank you first from Proverb. It's beautiful. So we're going to wrap this up in just the next couple minutes so that we have a few moments for questions and interested roles, things we haven't thought of. Coming up are things we haven't gotten to yet, including deliberation about that loan or sale, right? A project Aaron's going to talk about in a bit. We're going to do at least another food sale. Noel and Ed are going to cook spaghetti on January 9th or 16th. So, we've got those things. There's a big chunk missing in our strategy because we had planned to do GoFundMe and or Facebook fundraiser in the fall, but we've come upon this great red tape nightmare of needing to change our legal name on our bank accounts so that it's not the name of decades ago, Eden Lutheran, but Eden UCC. So we're hoping that we can get that stuff taken care of in the next couple of weeks, our part of the process, and that we can be up and running by sometime in the winter for those online things that will require that paperwork to be finished. Aaron, talk to us about the raffle.
Okay, so this is our new idea. Instead of doing an online auction, the committee thinks it would really, serve our constituency better. basically what it is going to neighborhood vendors or online, like, you know, American Girl doll, places like that, where you would generally go and get donations, product donations, and having a prize for every day of the month. We're hoping to run this in April. So there would be a prize on the 1st of April, the 2nd, the 3rd, etc. How it works is you, for a price of $20 or $25, would purchase the calendar. That calendar then means that you have 30 days to win. You could win any day in April. You could win more than one day. You can sell up to 1,000. They each have a number associated with them that will be printed on them. And then the winner is chosen based on the Illinois State Lottery. So when the Illinois State Lottery chooses the 3-digit number, the winning number for that day, your corresponding calendar number is what determines if you win. So we don't pull the names or the numbers ourselves. It's done every day. It's a really kind of different, fun idea because you don't need to really have a lot of technology in order to participate. You don't have to go online and purchase, you know, an auction item that way. And it's a pretty good value, $25 for an opportunity to win 30 prizes. And it gives us kind of a framework of how many prizes we need to gather. If you're having an online auction, you're going to want, you know, 100 prizes. And this way you only need to come up with 30 really good prizes. You can take them and put them together. You can do a whole neighborhood gift card packet for a day. And I'm pretty excited about it. I love this part of fundraising. This is really what's in my wheelhouse, but this is something I haven't done. So I'm excited to see it come together.
Thanks, Erin.
Yeah, so could you say a little bit about what you need in terms of the right team to roll this?
Yeah, so what the most important thing that we need are people, a team of people to help gather the donations. So that could be 3 to 5 people who are willing to follow up with 5 to 10 businesses in the neighborhood, or take a crack at doing a mailing. We're going to do a mailing to all of the businesses that are part of the Jefferson Park, Portage Park, Irving Park, Park Ridge, Edgebrook, and Rosemont Chamber of Commerce. I have the mailing lists for all of those, so they will all get a letter with a request for a donation. And I think especially because of COVID, this really gives people an opportunity to donate something that they have, so they can do a gift card, a hotel stay, something like that, and they aren't actually having to write a check, which can be difficult for people right now. And that would be really what we need to do next is to write a letter, a solicitation letter, which with a clear message about what we're fundraising for, what the event is, and then get that out to a committee along with our tax ID information, because all of the donations that people will make to us will be tax deductible for them because we are a registered 501c3. So what we really need are people to solicit donations. And that could also mean, like, when you go and get your hair cut, you bring your letter with you and say, hey, my church is having this event. Would you be able to donate a gift card? It doesn't have to just be, you know, it could be people, it could be your sister-in-law who, you know, sells purses or anything like that. They have to be new products, and they have to be generally, you know, I would say each day a value of $75 to $100 or more. So you could gather some things together and put them, you know, if you get 5 $25 gift cards, you put all of them together to do that. And then I think the church would probably need to have a small budget to supplement or kind of fluff up any places that we might need it. The idea is if we can sell, I mean, even if we sell 500 of them, that's, you know, $10,000, and the only cost to us would be printing the calendars.
All right, so Erin's the point on that, and we want to take any clarifying questions when we're done here in a second, and she's the person who can answer all your questions. So then, Erin, just in a couple of broad strokes.
Yep, so we tried the very beginning, did a bunch of research to try to find some grants that we qualified for. We were able to submit for several, which have been declined. Some of them don't support religious organizations. Some of them were declined based on location, but a lot of them, the cycle was already closed by the time that we started researching them. So there will be a lot of possibilities at the very beginning of 2021. That's usually when the cycle's open for most of these. So I have a list here. I mean, there's probably a inquiry for and try to get matched with. We've made a lot of connections and contacts, but right now is really, it's kind of up in the air. Some held off, some have changed all of their grant writing to COVID specific things, you know, only things that will help people deal with COVID. So we'll have to see how it goes.
All right, so just to kind of recap, I'll say in addition to these irons in the fire, which, you know, we've tried to be diverse, but not like crazy chaotic. In addition to that, I mean, there are ideas that people have had that have been emailed or whatever that we haven't even had time to like fully vet and think about. So no idea is off the table. We just want it to be, you know, a good, steady, progressing project where we're smartly using the diversity of people's creative energies. One idea that got some early positive responses, but we haven't really solved the right model yet, is this whole idea of a sell-a-thon. So behind me on the Eden stage are 10 or 15, I think, glorious items from Carol and Dale DeSoto's home that are good sellable things. I think in addition to that, there are 6 or 8 pieces of furniture or recreation equipment that people have mentioned over the couple of months. So at first we thought that would be just something people would kind of sell on their own time and way and whatever, and give the money to the church with extra special help if you didn't feel comfortable selling it online, or if you wanted somebody to be there the day someone came to pick it up, that sort of thing. And then we thought, I don't think I was doing a good job of explaining that, didn't have any early takers on that. So then we thought, a sell-a-thon on site at the church building for 2 or 3 consecutive Saturdays in November 2020, which totally proved to be the wrong idea. So, you know, this idea is percolating. If you want to help, talk to me about whether we can make it a thing in the winter, or it's meant to be something else. But those are the things that are all in the hopper. What we need next, your prayer, help with these mailings, thinking about the distribution of this buck slip. If there are people in your life you want to share it with, is the sell-a-thon a thing or not? Was it just a horrible idea? You know, pass on the news of this on Facebook and your own emails as you get electronic things, and think about joining Aaron's team. This is the bottom line, vetted and blessed by our president, Ed Thomas. We believe, we're thinking big. I'm so grateful Linda brought that language to our very first meeting. We're more than a third of the way there. We're not alone, and we need you. So think about these tasks, and then also be mindful that in January, you know, the council will be having these conversations. How do we feel about what we've raised? What's our confidence level about stuff in the works that's not going to bear fruition till February, March, April? Do we go for a sale? Do we go for a loan? You know, and so, you know, one of the ways you can help, you know, in a Protestant church, you are partners in the endeavor. So if you have good thoughts about that, if you have good questions about that, if you want to make sure the leaders are thinking in a particular way, we can't do either of those without a congregational vote, right? So that either happens at our business meeting in late January, or it happens at some other specially called business meeting if we deem that that's what we need to do. And so your participation at that level is no less important than, you know, what resources you can share, or what time you can share. I'm going to stop now and see if anyone has any questions or contributions. And
I'm going to say something kind of negative.
yeah,
I'm just disappointed that more people didn't stay for the meeting. That's all. I wish that we could get the word out more in it, you know, that people would really like listen to what we have done so far. You know,
Yeah.
anyway, I don't mean to be a negative Nancy, but
Sure. Well, one of the things that's
Tanya
one of the
and
things
Frida
that's missing is that, of course, the council
and
members
David.
and trustees have all been a part of the planning so far, right? And so they're sort of briefed. We wanted to have a chance to include folks who haven't been at the table. So Jean is here, Sandy, Carla.
Oh, there's people there too.
Yeah.
Oh, forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah, take that negativity out.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize there was.
Anybody else?
Well, like you said, Linda, earlier, I thought it was just like a normal business meeting, not a bit more of a include people that weren't already participating meeting. So I appreciate having been here and hearing about all the good work everyone's been doing, because I like money and I deal with your money. So thank you guys.
He likes money.
And I'm sorry. I apologize for being negative. I didn't realize that more people were there. Forgive me. I'm a little.
Already you were forgiven.
Linda, it's okay.
At least 2,000 years ago, you were forgiven.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I really like the way this is going, and I wanted to just extend another thank you to Aaron, well, all of you really, everybody. Aaron has done some nice presentations and so forth. I'm assuming she's the one that put all those together. So anyway, and it just puts things in a very concise way, and I'm visual, so I always like to see things that are in graphics and graphs and charts and stuff like that. And anyway, I really I'm very pleased with what I'm seeing, and I think that we've got a lot of momentum to move forward. So anyway, thank you to everybody.
Yeah. Sandy, do you have anything to add or ask about? Or you have to watch the recording first?
I'd want to watch the recording first so I get all the details. But if there's some way you can help, then just let me know. And I'll let you know if something sounds interesting to me as well, if I have an idea.
For sure. So Sandy was able to hear some of it when Marie was in the room, probably with her computer on. But we're solving the tech problems. So thank you for staying.
Okay.
All right.
And then is this going to be then? How do I? Review the recording?
We'll send the recording out in the email.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good.
Right. Can I go outside?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Sandy. Blessings. Any other thoughts, Jean? No?
We can do it because God is big, and we'll be able to do it. It'll work,
So
God is with us.
this is this is my heart for this constantly. Let's do this big thing without freaking ourselves out, right? And what is the bold, responsible way to move forward with a variety of things, but which plays to our strengths, whatever good ideas we have, whatever things we really feel comfortable doing, and not doing the things we don't feel comfortable doing. And just, I don't know, I keep this, maybe this is just a middle-aged mood I'm in, Pastor, is steady wins the race, and in December or January, that might feel like we're kind of playing chicken, like, ooh. but I just think we do our best and it's going to be okay. These numbers that Aaron shared, that I shared on the PowerPoint, from, let's see. Yeah, this thing about what the current balance is here. So that doesn't count. I think there are 10 checks in the vault that today's counters will open. And it looked to me like probably 90% of them are for the roof, right? So people are being responsive. And I think it would be a great psychological thing, right? A great encouragement if we could say before the end of the year that we topped 1,000, right? 100,000. Zeros are important. Tanya, I know that you have a marketing background. Can I put you on the spot and see if there's anything you could encourage us to do, same or different, in the coming weeks?
No, I mean, I think you guys are really doing a great job. I'm encouraged by some of the creative thinking. Honestly, this is just a communication game, to be honest with you. The more people that hear about it, we have to cast a really, really wide net, and we're not going to get a ton of fish in the net. But if we try to fish with a pole, we're definitely not going to hit it. So I think the buck slips are a good idea. I think mailings. I wonder if we could put stuff up in some of the neighborhood locations like Starbucks and some of the restaurants where people, have bulletin boards and people go in. It's a little tough with the pandemic, but I think it's really about getting the word out to as many people as possible.
Thank you for that, and for actually calling out a glaring omission in the process here on my preparation. So also, Natick newspaper is running a big feature article about this.
That's
They have
great.
a bunch of pictures.
good.
They will send people to the campaign website. Brian was writing it a week and a half ago, but he decided to push it back, I think, a week for distribution. So I'm very happy about that. And I wonder if you guys, what do you think about getting a second banner and putting it over by Olive's Garden on Ainsley, on the fence over there, since they were so affordable?
I'd be for it.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any other questions or additions, new ideas? If they occur to you in the middle of the night, please send them to us.
Hey, Jackie, I was just thinking, as long as we've got these, I don't know if it would have to be a full color thing, but that little buck slip or something, or like a doorknob hanger, we could, maybe the scouts, since it's an outdoor activity, the scouts could distribute them on people's storm doors. I'm not sure what the regulations are. They would have to be looked into for solicitation and stuff like that. But I think that would be a great way to to wake the neighborhood up to what's going on.
That's a great, I think that's a great idea.
So, and then we could also hit the businesses in the business district there, as well as the surrounding business districts. Just put them on people's, storm doors and entry doors to stores and things like that.
Yeah. Fritzy, do you have anything to add?
They have a list of former members.
All right. Fritzy's been faithful in prayers and encouragement, and she's like the resident think tank here.
Thank you, Fritzy.
Yeah. Very good. Well, I'm mindful of people's time. We have gone a little later than I initially thought. So I'm happy just wrapping it up here if you like.
Thank you for the recap.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time.
Oh, wait, guys,
Thank you
I do
so
have
much.
one.
Thank you to
Sorry, I have
all.
Tanya?
one other idea that I just thought of. For those of us that work in corporate jobs or jobs at companies, there's also matching funds usually for donations. I know my company matches up to $500. So we might want to just remind people that that's also an option if they were to give.
Thank you, Tanya.
Awesome.
Good
Sorry
catch.
about that last minute thought.
Good catch. Okay.
All right, bye, guys.
All right. Very good. Enjoy the rest of your
Thank you
day.
all.
Thank you.
Bye all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.